very hard to be able to put yourself to the back and say for 3 months I'm gonna just focus on you. Because it's hard for me to just be a good husband in them points. Like I'm tired. I don't want to talk. You know, I'm just. You know, she deal with it. You know, she do a good job, but sometimes she don't.
I can believe it.
She got a little fiery attitude. And she an only child, so you.
So she gonna get that attention.
She want attention. So,
but what I can say during those times, you do have to really change your mindset in 100%. Order to perceive a different perspective, or to even feel different, or because you may not. Say, for instance, during those times, because I've trained and I did intermittent fasting. Yes, you get hangry, I call it, because we're taking stuff away from us. Yeah. But I had to change my mindset around it. I had to say, I'm giving myself way more than I'm taking.
That mindset, I didn't get that until I'm halfway through my career. Yeah. Like it took me a long time to like process what I was doing to my body. And when I started learning nutrition and I started learning like the transformation, what's happening
to the body,
I realized I was actually doing something for myself that was needed.
Yes, that's right.
Like, you know, I can be candid about it. I quit drinking almost a month ago.
Okay, that's amazing.
I've drank through my whole career, and so I always starved myself for that.
Because we got to get those little calories in. Trust me, I know. I know. We can have 4 ounces, so I got to make those 4 ounces count.
See, my 4 ounces turned into 12.
You know
what I mean?
I get it.
Just gonna have a glass, baby. Just gonna have a glass.
That turned into some more.
My nutritionist was like, "Walt, you can have a glass of wine. I love red wine.
I love. Hey man, I'm with you. I'm with you.
And so I'm always push the limits. So she would FaceTime me and be like, "Okay, let me see your glass." And my glass was like this. I said, "You said a glass?" You know what I mean? She's like, "No,
take full advantage."
Right, I'm taking full advantage.
That's right.
At the same time, like now going through this process of like being alcohol free, I've learned so much about how healthy my body is. I've been fighting against myself, you know, in 3 months of training camp where I'm like, okay, I'm doing great. I feel great, but I'm also still hanging on to that part of me that I need to let go.
That's right.
So like I feel like this camp is gonna be amazing. You know, I haven't been in this place ever in my life.
That's right.
Right.
So I'm excited about it.
That's right.
You know, I know she not looking forward to dealing with all of you. But I think it's gonna be a little easy on you because I'm not drinking. And
right. And you kind of used to it too, so it kind of helps out too, right?
I'm used to it.
I think it's and you know I've been off for 2 years, so I think the excitement around this fight.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's crazy.
That motivates you even more.
100%.
That's right.
Yeah, everybody excited. I think that she's excited.
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's gonna be a lot more smoother camp.
That's right.
Because I really want to be in it. The last couple fights, I was just fighting because it was like, all right,
let's go blow some steam. Hey, let's do it.
I wasn't, you know, mental. I wasn't taking care of my mental health. I wasn't doing self-care.
That's right.
And I've been doing that, so I feel like I'm even more dangerous. Hell, I was dangerous when I wasn't fully focused.
Now that you focus,
you know
now it's even better.
You know, I made it to the top 10 in the world.
That's amazing.
And I was halfway the product of what I could be. So
that's
I was talking to my coach today, and he was just like, "Man, I'm excited to see what you're gonna look like when you are right now."
Right.
And so, you know, I'm just at that place. You know, we're just trying to use this platform that we got to keep talking, you know, and pushing our agenda as far as our daughter goes. You know, it's just
that's right.
It's our healing thing. You know, fighting is no longer. And I don't mean to take up the time because the show ain't about me. It's about my wife. But, you know, but at the end of the day, like. Fighting, it used to be about me. You know, it used to be about how I can be the best fighter in the world.
That's right.
Now it's not that anymore. And I feel a release like I've never felt before. There's no pressure on me no more. You know, it's about me going and doing what I enjoy to do.
There you go.
I'm doing it for Aniah. You know what
yes.
I mean? Right. I'm having fun again. So,
that's amazing.
I'm excited.
And they bring extra steam with you, right? I know it bring it. Yeah.
100%. Like I wake up in the morning, I'm like, man, I can't wait to see what the day holds. You know what I mean? I didn't used to have that feeling.
Right.
And this happened so fast for me. Like, you know, I deal with depression. I deal with, you know, I've dealt with that my whole life. But these last couple of years, especially since we lost Aniah, it's been extra hard.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm just excited to see what the future holds and what we could do, you know.
It's different now. No pressure. He's put a lot of pressure on himself. And this time it's like, you know what? You win or lose. It's okay. It's okay.
Right.
But we know this. He's going to knock the
That's right. We're going to speak it into existence. Guess what?
You got it, right?
Look.
We get a dub on the field.
He going to have fun, and guess what? We're going to win while having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
And just like that, episode 26, I got tongue tied. Y'all know how I am. We got some special guests. It's your boy, Kimbo the Counselor.
It's your girl, Carly.
And guys, we have... I'm sorry, baby.
Yeah, you did cut me off,
finish,
but
baby. I
don't even know if I want to finish, y'all. You know,
Go ahead.
it's either him or Jeremy every
Go
single
ahead,
time.
baby. Go ahead, baby. I'm listening. I'm waiting on you. And guys, we have a special co-host today, and y'all know who it always is, Mr. Humes from the Oz Show, hanging out always with his unapologetic comments that he makes on his show. And guys, oh my God, I just don't know how to even introduce the guest we have today. But this is a powerful episode, and
that's right.
We are really here to enjoy ourselves, learn, and also release or take anything off of us that's heavy.
Right.
Unloading is good. And I mean, we can continue to unload. You don't know. Sometimes we don't know the limit to how much is on top of us.
That's right.
And what we're pressured with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And there's no clock on grieving. There's no clock on that.
None.
Right.
You can't say, hey, get over it.
No.
Or hey, you're gonna just take it one day at a time and all this type of stuff. You can't really say that if you hadn't been in that person's shoes. That's just my philosophy on that. So on this particular episode of the Irish Wolf Show podcast, which is episode 26, we have Miss Angela Harris and Walt Harris.
Thank y'all for having us.
Clap it up.
So glad to be here.
I'm glad y'all came. About editing this, I can edit. So I love it.
TV magic.
Right. So guys, today we have Angela Harris, wife of Walt, the big ticket Harris. Y'all to hear about that some more. Most of y'all already know who that is, so we're not gonna act like we don't know who that is, all right? Okay. Mom of 5, registered nurse, CEO, founder of Aniah's Heart nonprofit, public speaker, victims advocate, community activist. She is from Northwest Alabama, Marion County, graduated from Winfield High School, who beat us last year, ADN from Bevel State in Fayette, Alabama, retired from Children's Hospital, Children's of Alabama Emergency Department after 20 years of service as an emergency room nurse and specializing in child sexual and physical abuse. Retired May 2019. Currently the school nurse at Tarrant High School. She lost her first son, Darian, in a car accident when he was almost 3 in 1997. And on October 23rd, 2019, her beautiful daughter, Aniah Blanchard, was kidnapped and murdered from a Chevron station on S. College Street in Auburn, Alabama, by a repeat violent offender that was out on bond for attempted murder and kidnapping. We passed a law on November 8th. A law was passed in 2020 called Aniah's Law. Okay? Aniah's Law is a bond reform law that keeps violent offenders in jail until their trial. With our nonprofit Aniah's Heart, we teach safety, education, situational awareness, and self-defense classes. They also support families with missing loved ones and have a search and recovery team to help find the missing. Their family continues to fight in honor of their beautiful daughter, Aniah, to this world. They want to make it a better place and a safer place. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Amazing.
And when you have to repeatedly talk about this, how much does it impact you, like, mentally?
It's hard. I mean, it's hard, but it's also something that I want to do because I love talking about Aniah.
Right.
She was the most amazing human that I think ever lived. I'm sorry, I say that not because she's my daughter, but because she was.
Right.
So I love talking about her. It hurts to talk about what happened to her. But
Right.
I feel like it's important to also talk about what happened to her to save someone else's life.
Right.
Correct.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Harris, how about you?
Same. I feel like it's very important we speak about it because it keeps her alive in memory.
Okay.
And there's a demographic of people who don't know exactly what happened. They heard the story, but they don't truly know how special she was.
Right.
Me personally, I was able to come into her life at 3 years old. She changed my life. As much as I want to say, my wife had a big hand in that, but there was something about our relationship that made me want to be a better man.
Right.
And so, I was honored to be her stepfather. I was honored to share those moments and make memories and be a part of her life. And I want people to see what she was. She was. That's why we called it Aniah's heart. Her heart was, it was second to none. Man. Like I never seen a person so giving, so selfless. She was always willing to help people, always trying to, make sure everybody around her was okay, even when she wasn't.
Right.
And so, we just want the world to see that, and that's kind of our mission, to make sure we keep people safe and we keep her name alive as well.
Right. And you guys you've been doing this for how long? Like the self-defense classes and all that. How long have you been doing it now?
We started Aniah's Heart in 2020, and so we kind of started then. COVID kind of set us back a lot because that's when we started it. Yeah.
Right.
But as soon as we could, as soon as things were opening back up, we were out there lining classes up, and Walt teaches those self-defense classes along with my son, our 24-year-old son Elijah. We teach those classes, and we've been going strong, and it's been great. I'm just gonna keep going.
One thing I did want you to do. Could you just describe, Aniah? Just describe what kind of person she was.
I smile every time I talk about it.
I know you
I do because she was so fun. I mean, Walt knows. They were. I don't know. I didn't exist. I don't think. Y'all, there's videos of it that they were best friends, and father and daughter. But Aniah was just so funny and so happy, and she loved life. And if somebody was like not happy or not having fun, she was like, "What's wrong with y'all?" Like, she was just laughing and dancing all the time. Right. And like he said, just the most selfless person. Like she always cared about anything going on with everybody else. Like I would just be sitting at work at Children's Hospital in the emergency department at triage. Well, here comes Aniah.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on.
No, with some chocolate, right. With some drinks, whatever I wanted.
That's amazing.
I mean, just always giving. And so I have to tell y'all this. So I had Aniah on my birthday.
Wow.
Amazing.
June 22nd.
I never knew that.
June 22nd, 2000. I had Aniah on my birthday. She was my little mini me. She's just like me. But every time my birthday would come around, she's like, "Mom, what do you want to do?" Right. Now we're talking about a child, our childhood. You think your child, it's all about them. Oh, not Aniah. She's like, "Mom, what do you want to do, Mom?" It's all about me. So that kind of describes her. But I smile every time. I don't get sad. I'm sad because my baby is not here. I'm angry because my baby's not here.
Right.
But I'm also so thankful that I had Aniah for those 19 years and that she gave us so much joy and fun in our life. Yeah.
Definitely. And she'll give you much more going forward. Just wait and see. You all already have opened up, the different things as far as self-defense classes and all of that in honor. Guess what? It's time to shine. Yes. Aniah's Heart. We about to fly.
And Aniah's Law totally, the subject we're talking about, but she is shining through that.
Yes, definitely.
Could you go more in depth about Aniah's Law?
Yeah. So I'll start with this. When Aniah was missing, of course we kept the hope the whole 32 days she was missing that she was alive. We didn't give up the hope that she wasn't alive. Our daughter was out there. We were going to find her. But I heard Aniah's voice say to me, "Mom," let me back up. When we found out that she had been kidnapped,
right,
and we found out who the suspect was, I mean lengthy. When I mean lengthy criminal history, just from his age of 9 has a criminal history, murder,
Wow.
kidnapping,
That's-
long,
That longest
long
rap
sheet, a long rap sheet, thick rap sheet.
That's crazy.
Bad stuff.
And I heard her say to me, I heard her say, "Mom, don't let this happen to anybody
Mm-hmm.
else." And I just said back to her out loud, "Baby, I won't." And so after she, our daughter was found, not alive anymore, 32 days after she was kidnapped. Shortly after that, after her memorial service, I was like, we've got to do something. Well, actually, it was before the memorial service. I knew I wanted, first of all, the two things I knew we were going to do was change the laws, because this person, he's not even a person.
He shouldn't have been.
Not even a person. He should not have. He was out on bond for 2 attempted murder and 2 kidnapping charges, and that's just what he was out on bond for. There's so much more, that he had done. But I was like, I knew we were going to change the laws, because when I found out, wait, this is a thing, in Alabama, like, what's going on with our justice system? And then, of course, the part where keeping people safe and, letting people know the ways to keep themselves safe. That was the 2 things that I wanted to do. But a couple of days before Aniah's memorial service, I got a phone call from a friend of mine from North Alabama, State Representative Tracy Estes. I went to high school with him. I knew him well. He's like, "Angela, I know you guys are getting ready for Aniah's memorial service, and I'm so sorry to have to call you at this time." He said, "But it's important." There is a state representative out of Mobile named Chip Brown, and he has this bill. And it was a bond reform bill for violent offenders. Wow. And he said he wants to name it after Aniah. And I thought, oh my goodness, that is exactly what I wanted to do.
That's
so
what
it
you
came
want.
together.
Yes.
And so we had to get going, because the session was coming up in February.
Okay.
So that's why we had to move so fast. I mean, it was just meant to be.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
So it went through the judiciary,
Like unopposed.
Yeah.
I mean, like both sides of the aisle came together on it. It was
You unopposed.
unopposed. Like I've never, like they said that it probably one of the fastest bills
a
ever
landslide.
passed.
Been
in the state of
passed.
Alabama. Like
And it never happened either.
it never happened. So like
There's never been a unanimous
Never.
vote.
Oh, wow.
That's a
On
piece of
any-
history.
yeah.
Yes.
And it was a constitutional change. That's why we had to, the citizens of Alabama had to vote on it. It was a constitutional change.
Yes. Check.
Yeah. And over
Yeah,
a million and a
right.
half people voted yes.
Right. So let me ask you this: How are you guys able to just keep pushing through, like keep going, like on a daily basis with your personal lives? You know what I mean?
You want to go first?
And it's hard.
And I say that because
It's a hard question, but a good question. Yeah. For me, I think for me and Walt, we're grieving differently. Even though we're grieving together, we're grieving differently, and everybody grieves differently. But for me, I have to keep going. So I have to be busy, because if I let my mind lay idle, I can't tell you what the thoughts I would have in my mind. So I have to get up and get moving. And there are days where I don't want to move and do anything. Just like this Sunday, I shut down. I didn't want to talk. I didn't want to do anything. But getting up and working in her name and her honor, and then for our other kids, and then for people, I just know that's what Aniah would want. And I know that our family needs us. My husband needs me. My kids need me.
Right.
So that's what keeps me going.
Right.
Yeah.
What about you, Walt?
Same. It's just like you said, we grieve differently. For me, it's easy to isolate. I'd rather just be by myself sometimes when I get in those zones. And she's like, helping me to understand, like, you gotta let it out. Like I never had that. I've dealt with a lot of trauma in my life, and I always just kind of internalized, because you're supposed to be a man, be strong, you're a big fighter, like you're not supposed to cry.
Right.
She's like, you can cry. And when I started to like just let it out, it helped me see clearer. It hurt, but at the same time, it was like
Relief.
Exactly. Like you said, we gotta have that release sometime. Like as men, so I realized that it's okay to be in touch with your emotions.
Right.
It's okay to feel those things. And so that's kind of how I deal with it. I take it day at a time. Like I have a tendency to try to see too far and try to do too much.
Right.
And I learned over the last 3 years, it's a day. Every day is a win. As long as you win in that day, then you just you're doing the best you can.
Right.
And she gave me a lot of support.
That's good.
She helped me with a lot. She's very understanding. Of my mental, of how I'm feeling. We both try to be that for each other. Like Sunday, I could tell she wasn't feeling it. So I was like, you know, today your day. Just lay in the bed, whatever you want to eat. I don't care what the kids want. We gonna eat what you want.
Right.
You know, whatever you need done. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
if you want some hot pockets, whatever you want,
whatever you want, I'll go get it. You know, like I think that's been the only way that we've been able to make it is to kind of pull from each other. You know, like she'll feel me having a day. She's like, all right, you want to sit there and play video games all night? Go ahead.
So teamwork.
I may do that a little bit too much sometimes this year.
Right.
We won't get into that conversation.
That's a whole nother show.
Okay, all right. Part 2, guys.
Part 2. We're gonna do that show.
So you pretty much with going through this, you pretty much have covered practically every facet when it comes to the feeling of death, because we don't think about mentally. We always think about something else, but when you're dealing with death, like you was mentioning, each one of us deals with it in our way. You still go through those phases and all, but when you're dealing with it mentally, you have to understand that sometimes you have to take a step back. You're not closing down, you're just relaxing, getting your head straight, because you can get to the point to where you forget actually taking care of yourself mentally, that you're not really accomplishing anything. So for you to accept the fact that, well, it's time for me to take a breather, and then when it comes to the emotions of a man, if you coming from our generation, we were taught that you're supposed to be the stalwart, you're supposed to be the backbone, but we don't seem to understand you can still be the backbone.
And have those sensitive emotions.
Right. Because you're showing something to the kids that you have.
Right.
And you give them an understanding too, which is going to be they're going to be able to be a more productive and more aware of things. And so with this, you have pretty much covered everything from one start. So it's sort of like a domino effect. And then with you coming up with this, what is it? Right. That's helping too, because that's releasing energy too.
Right.
Yeah. And I think that's helping him tremendously. And his heart is helping him
Oh,
tremendously.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I was going to ask. Like, you know, just the anger built up. You know, how do you channel that in a positive way on a daily basis? You know what I mean?
I mean, like the Aniah's heart being able to. All right. Well, I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I did it. What helps me is uplifting messages I get. I did a signing like a year ago in Vegas, and there were grown men at my table crying and saying how I inspired them by just keeping on. And that right there is like, honestly, like, man, that you're affecting people.
Right.
So I have to be cognizant of like how I deal with things. You know,
Right.
when I'm in the privacy of my own home, my wife, I'm able to let out. That's my release. You know, she's my go-to for that.
Right.
But when I'm in public, I feel it's important to show people that you can recover.
Correct.
You know, like as hard as it is, I mean, I've had moments where I wanted to give up.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm still dealing with that. But there's something extra, you know, that you have to dig deep and find and say, you know, it's not about me anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You're
Absolutely.
helping people. Like, that means everything to me.
Right.
If I can help one person out of this situation,
Correct.
I've done my job. That's the way
sir.
I was raised. You know, my mama was very religious. You know, saving souls is something she always impressed upon me.
Okay.
And if this is my way of doing that, bringing people to Christ in a roundabout way through my tragedy, then I feel like that's my job now. That's why I said earlier, it's not about me being the best fighter anymore. That's what I used to think. I used to think my purpose is to be the best fighter on the planet. And God showed me at some point during this journey, like, that's not why I gave you this platform. This platform wasn't for you to be uplifted. I need you to
uplift other
go.
people around
so
you.
like,
That's
once
right.
I got that nugget, that helped me get up every morning. Like, that helped me put myself through the torture of training in the middle of all the stuff we were dealing with losing Aniah. You know, it helped me wake up and be like, man, all right, you got to do this not just for your family, but you got people looking to you like for inspiration.
Right, exactly.
You know, I had a dude tell me he lost a son and he had the gun in his mouth. And he's standing in front of me in tears, and I was like, bro, I got chill bumps talking about it. Like,
me too.
Yeah.
It's like when you realize that you impacting somebody like that, it's like, man, I don't take that for granted.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, it's something that I think that she realizes, and we kind of realize, and we use that as our strength. I mean, it's hard, but you know, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I don't have days. Right. I have days I'm mad at the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be alive if I told you I didn't, and she can say the same. You know, but that's what we here for each other for. I let her vent. If you feel bad, take it out on me. I don't care.
Right.
But don't let it to keep you there. You know what I mean? We don't have to be confined to this space.
Right.
We can be in it, get out of it, and keep moving forward.
That's right.
Right.
And that's the main thing. You got to keep moving forward. You got to learn how to cope positively, figure out how can you be creative. And not only that, think about the right now.
Right.
And then where you're going. And let's get there.
That's it.
So that's the main thing of, I feel like, because there are phases of grieving. And the final phase is acceptance. And once you get there, you got to leave the other phases behind you, because we're moving forward. And that's where everyone is trying to go who's been in a situation similar, you know, who's grieving. And it's like, okay, let's think about the right now. Let's focus. Where are we trying to get to? Who are we trying to impact in this situation? And that will move you and get you up, and it's like, okay, let's go.
100%.
You know? And it takes time. There's no time frame on any of that.
And see, that's one thing that we have to get to understanding, because, like you were saying, everybody goes through it in their own way. And then for someone to have the audacity to say, well, you should be over it by now, that really...
That hit a nerve.
And it's just like,
you don't
you're
say
trying
that.
to take me there, huh? No, I'm not.
Real quick.
And I'm like, you know, first of all, you don't know what I'm going through. Second of all, you really don't know
what I'm going through.
Don't make me turn to the old.
Because see, what you see now is what I am now. But I have a past. So you don't want that one to come back. So for you to tell me I should be over it, you need to be over there away from me.
100%.
Because you don't know what I'm going through.
That's right.
And if you've never experienced it, because you can lose a mother, and that's a loss. But when you lose a child, that's a different loss.
It is.
And then you have all these different moments to where you have a smell, you have a scent, you have a perfume, you see a silhouette.
And people right now.
I mean, and then when you're going through it, there's something that hits you and you're driving.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to pull over. Like, because you don't know what happened. You something just triggers.
So many triggers. Yeah.
And so you, like you were saying, the last one is acceptance. So with you accepting that I'm going to have a downtime, and I can't always be the Superman or the Superwoman, but I have to accept that I'm weak, but I'm better than what I was. But for these individuals to think that we know you because we've seen you on television, you want to say, you don't know me.
That's right.
You know,
not for real.
You know, love me, and for you to feel common enough that you can come up and talk to me, you don't have. I'm not giving you that right.
Right.
But you know, at the same time, because if you're representing your daughter, you have to step back and wonder, like, do I really want to? Do I really want to go there, or do I need to be tactful? Because see, I don't believe in tact. I don't see the purpose in tact, because you can water down so much the message that the message is
don't even hit.
You don't hit. Right. So you have to get to the point, and I think that you're doing a fantastic job, because you're covering all those areas. I'm hurting, but I'm working through this. Right. And so for you to tell me, or have the audacity or even the calmness that, well, you need to be over by now, I'm going to leave you alone, because I'm going to have to whip your ass.
For real.
And that's just straight up. That's straight up.
But I try to tell her, you know, her heart, that's where I got it from. She has the biggest heart. But I have to explain, like, babe, you don't overextend yourself.
That's right.
Because you still are grieving. You still are human.
Right.
You can't do everything. She tries to.
Oh my God, she got something going on all the time.
She thinks she can do it all, and
all the
like,
time.
My son said, I said, I'm like, babe, I'm here for a reason.
Yes,
Like,
I can help you.
I can help you.
And that's where you turn to your support,
Right,
even
right,
though you
right.
feel like, no, I need to do something.
And I tell them like, hey, you know, I'm a very like, I need to be written down. Like if you expect me to just do it, and I think most men are like this, it's hard for me to remember. Oh, I need to do this. But if you wrote that down and say, hey, here go your honey, do this.
Can you take care of this?
I'm gonna get all of it done.
Oh, we learning. We need checklists.
Girl, what you trying to say, girl?
He's always told
I've
me
been telling her
that.
that since we
Write it
first
down
got
for me.
together. I'm like, babe,
Just write it down
before
for
you
me.
go to
Yeah.
work,
Right,
or
right,
the
right.
night before you go to bed, just write what you need done, and I'll get it done for you.
There you go.
I just
Right,
don't
right,
do
right.
well with like, cause I got so much other stuff going on.
Man.
To be like,
Been a forgot.
and
Yeah,
her
yeah,
eye
yeah.
and my eye are two different things.
That's
You
right.
know what I mean? So I'll be like, you know, babe, don't overextend yourself. Let me
Right.
help you. You know, and she's getting better at it. You know, she still have her moments. You know,
It's a learning
she
experience.
Just like I forgot your shirt, man.
Oh, you meant to do that.
He should have wrote it down or told his wife about it.
But you know what? I should have told my wife about it. She's right.
100%.
See, that proves
100%.
that he
But
didn't
I
want me to-
feel
he
a
didn't-
burden of I feel like I carry, for some reason, I just feel like there's something that I'm supposed to, there's more.
That you're supposed to be
There's
doing.
more that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be doing something to help people all the time, and I carry that burden, and it's okay with me. I feel like I've been given that by God. I do. I just feel like I've been given that.
To he who's given much, much is required.
Yes. So let me ask you
But I do.
this: what are you giving yourself?
Ooh, ooh.
I have been asked that question multiple times, and I don't. I'm
So
not
Yeah.
giving myself anything.
self care. You gotta find something
And,
that.
and let me,
Right.
I don't mean to
Go.
cut you
No,
off,
you're
but
good.
She's been before we lost tonight. That's her.
Before
the way she
then,
does-
yeah.
I'd be like, babe, do like after a fight, babe, go
Go do this. Go
go do what you want.
Don't feel.
I'm not joking. She called my phone from the mall. Baby,
What am I
go
supposed
steal what you want. Do what you want. Don't leave me alone. Just go. I don't know. I feel bad when I do this.
That's what you want to hear.
But I love that about her. Like it's always been that way, you know. But I've been always trying to like, especially lately, like be like, babe, dude, if you want to go do something,
Go
Right,
do
right.
it.
go.
Right.
You deserve that. You earn that.
You
You know what I
earn-
mean? Like you deserve so much. You know what I
Stop
mean?
feeling guilty
Right.
about doing
Right,
stuff for
right, right,
yourself.
right,
I'm
right.
doing it right
I'm
now.
seeing it. She's
Alright.
like,
She thinking about it, but
No.
you've been like when I met her, she was dealing with the trauma of losing Darren, and
Mm-hmm.
I felt that.
Right,
You know what I'm
right,
saying? So I understand now that I've seen it firsthand, the strength that she has. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm in awe of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't get to tell her all the time.
Yeah.
I try to show her more than I
Yeah.
do say it. So, but I want to let her know, like
Yeah.
verbally, like you are the strongest woman
Yeah.
I know.
And
Like,
the strength
I said
that
it
she
in
has.
1,000
Yeah.
times.
like the strength,
Right.
you don't know. Like the angels that follow, you don't know. You got it. You can do whatever. You got the
100%.
support.
Do you understand what you have accomplished?
Yes.
Do you know that with especially down in Montgomery, do you
Right.
not know the accomplishment when you have both
Both
parties? That's never been done
Done. It's never
before.
done.
So do you realize how far you have come? And now I understand that you still feel that you, but do you understand? Have you acknowledged and accepted? You have come a long way. You have basically made more, hit two histories. You
Yes.
have Aniah's Law, and then you brought two houses together. That's never been done.
Right. I don't
That-
think
and-
I've
and-
really fully
You
right.
haven't.
I don't think I've
Processed
really
it.
fully processed it yet. I know it's big, but I don't. And I know
It's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, I just don't think I've processed it yet. I just know that because people ask me, how do you feel? Like just today, I've done several interviews about how do you feel about Aniah's Law being used, and I don't even have the words because it's so big. Does that make sense?
That's I
I
get
don't
it.
even have the
Right.
words because it's so big.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, we going back to how much you put into Aniah's heart and the things you do for people. On the flip side, it could be just very therapeutic to you or for you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And like, have you ever thought about that? Like how it makes you feel like you actually accomplishing something, or you changing somebody's life? How therapeutic is that for you?
Oh, it means everything to me.
Right.
And I'll tell you, the first time it really hit me was when Cupcake's mother, April, she came down to Auburn with us the second anniversary. Because, Cupcake was kidnapped. She was kidnapped a week before Aniah was kidnapped, but she was found the day before Aniah was kidnapped. And so,
Okay.
yeah. actually, Aniah was the first person I called whenever I found out that Cupcake had been found. And then just the next day, Aniah was kidnapped. It's just crazy. But April came down with us because we did a vigil for Cupcake in Birmingham on the 21st of October, or the 22nd of October, and the 23rd of October we went to Auburn. And after the vigil, April looked at me and she said, "I have to tell you something." And I said, "Okay." She said, "You're the reason why I'm still alive."
See?
That's amazing.
And that just hit me. I was like,
goodness.
"What?" She said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
And I think that's when I realized it. You know.
But there's nothing wrong, even if it's one day, even if it's an hour. There's nothing wrong
So silly.
with just doing it for
cold.
yourself.
Right.
Just for yourself.
But you hear,
Yeah.
I try to explain that to her, like, take it in. Like, it's not to, like, I'm not saying, like, jump from the ceiling, but what, like he said, what you're doing in the short amount of time that you've done it,
And see
it's,
that,
it's incredible.
right.
short time.
It's
It
incredible.
didn't take you 5 years. It didn't even take you close to a year.
Yeah,
didn't
things
take-
like that
And
takes
the
a while
only reason
sometimes.
it took as
Most
long
of the
as
time.
it did
'Cause it
is
had to be
because
fine.
of COVID.
Oh, COVID, yeah, because they
COVID
couldn't get
really,
together.
They couldn't
Yeah.
get together. So
Yeah.
you look at what God was doing in that time.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing.
It
and
is.
I that's what I think in my mind. I'm like, man, my mama called me and remind me of stuff. And I'm like, man, I ain't even think about it. And that'll pull me up. And I'm like, well, dang. You know, like she is impacting lives, like
Yes,
millions
yes.
of lives, and she gonna do
Yes.
that forever.
Ever.
When we go,
Even,
she's
yes.
still gonna be
That's right.
affecting people's lives and saving lives, and I think that's the ultimate goal. You know, and that's what we have to take solace in. You know, when we get in the moments of like,
We want to hear.
I want
Yeah.
to hear,
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean.
And-
Selfishly, I want to hear.
Yes,
Right.
yes. But
It's just
What do you like doing? What do you like gardening? Do you like writing? Do you like poetry? Do you like riding horses? Do you like cooking?
Hold on,
she
Miss
got
Harris.
to figure it out. She's like, wait.
So who does this sound like at school? Oh my God!
He'll come through because he's got to be my, because the kids, they just flock. They just flock.
He's
to
like
me.
the club over there.
And Coach McFarlane, he's got to come through and be like,
Yeah,
y'all leave
I
Miss
go to
Harris
class.
alone, you know. But he asked me, you know, what are you doing for yourself? And I can't answer that question. I'm like,
She goes to the tanning
no.
bed.
I
She
go to
like
tanning
that.
bed.
You said about Teddy.
She like that. She called me, man, I'm gonna stop by the tanning bed.
Really quick. Therapeutic.
Therapeutic. It's
Therapeutic.
I don't like it because it's not. I don't want to get no cancer or nothing.
Right.
But
Right.
hey, if that's where
Yeah.
your safe place is,
But-
then you go do
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
But you know, it has helped me coaching softball. I
Okay,
do
okay.
enjoy
Good,
that. I've been
good.
assistant coach for the Terrence softball team, and that really has helped me because I called him after the first day of practice. I was like, I felt because I also have autoimmune disease called undifferentiated connective tissue disease that I just got diagnosed with last year, and I can tell you I was so sick last year until I got on the medicine, and so I hadn't been able to do anything physical. But that first practice, I called him. I was like, honey, I feel great.
She was over the moon.
Work
I was
out.
like,
Yeah. I
That's
feel
what.
real-
Yes, coach.
Yeah,
If you as happy as you are right now,
That's it.
Joe, whatever y'all.
Yes.
That's
there
it.
That's it.
I felt
Whatever you
good
need
with
me to
the,
do.
Right.
the physical aspect of it, but also with the girls. Like
Yeah.
I just love that
They
because I was a
probably need
softball player, you know, and I was a softball player. But yeah,
Right.
I love those girls, and it meant
And they
something to
love
me.
you. Lord
And
have mercy.
I know that I'm helping them, and just I don't know, it just feels good, and I love that. Yeah,
Right,
I love that.
Well, that can be your therapy.
Yeah,
There can be a form of.
But even if it's an hour, even a 30 minutes, you got to take some time for yourself because you're not only doing it for Aniah's memory, but you're
Yeah.
doing it to benefit yourself too.
I am spreading myself really
And I
thin.
need
I
you
do
here.
know that. Yeah.
See?
I need you here.
He needs you here.
All right,
He needs
guys.
your support like you need his support.
Right.
Right. I do have to do a better job. I know. I do.
And rest. I want to tell everybody at that table, rest. Get some sleep.
All right,
Mainly.
guys.
She's looking.
Look,
yeah,
he's like, all right, guys. I don't want to talk about this resting.
Look, you talking about sleeping?
Yes, rest.
Yeah, I have a
It
problem with
helps.
that. I have a
does
problem
too.
with it,
He
man.
does
Like
too.
I just don't know, and I just keep moving. I'm so used to. I think my body's just on a routine, you know. But when my body, when I really get tired, hey,
It
you
shuts
let me know
down.
It's time to shut
yeah, it's
down.
time to go ahead and let
Yeah.
down. So, homeboy, you gonna let down right here? All right, so we're gonna go into psych news, guys. Psych news, and today is we're gonna talk about grief myths. Grief myths. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
So as I read them out, you guys could, comment on it. Feel free.
Tell do we have to say if it's a myth or not, or what?
Well, just really,
or how we feel on
just
it?
your opinion. How you feel about it. You can flip your papers up. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Gotta get you one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what's interesting is y'all talked about phases earlier. I heard y'all talk about phases. And the thing about phases, it does come in a certain order, supposedly, but it don't always go like that. You can skip the first phase and go straight to the last phase.
Right.
So it's interchangeable. That's the comment I wanted to make on that one.
Okay.
What's up?
Interchangeable. But it depends on the individual.
Right. All right. Grief myth, guys. We're going to read the first paragraph. Grief is universal, but also unique.